Good evening. Welcome to Love Talk. I'm Gregory Morgan. I really got in touch with this last weekend, really what the purpose, what's driving me, what's driving us, what drives me personally as a man, and what has been a driving force in my life each time that I have either suffered or been in pain about something or been misguided about something and felt ashamed or loss of power. What is that thing? That unseen force or drive that has had me be able to recover and recuperate time and time again through trials and losses and continuing on the path of life, which is a pretty good description of the process of mastery. When we use the word mastering, any word that has an ing at the end implies a process, something that is not a thing, but a process. So we speak of it as if it's a thing, but in fact it is a process of things. And what is the process that we call mastering? When we say we're mastering something, what is that? Now, each and every one of you mastered something in your life. You've mastered feeding yourself. You've mastered dressing yourself. You've mastered brushing your teeth. You've mastered driving. Some of you have gone on to master other disciplines in your life, such as martial arts or piano or painting or anything that you've done 10,000 times, you're a master of, unless you're a complete idiot and you've done it 10,000 times the wrong way because you're stubborn and it still doesn't work, then you're a master idiot. But mastery is a process of applying with your intention to do well at something, which is you're either doing your best right now and you may fail at it. Your best may not be good enough, let's face it. The first time you ever drove a car, you weren't good at it and you failed. Then you corrected and you continued. And then you probably failed some more and you corrected and you continued. And you failed some more and you corrected and you continued until you got pretty good at it. Apply this to anything that's in your life that you've done at least 10,000 times. You're a master at it. You can do it with your eyes closed. You can do it in the dark, in the light. You can do it when you're sleepy. You can do it when you're hungry. You can do it when it's raining. You can do it when you're upset. You can do it in any condition, all times, in any circumstances. You can perform this thing that you've mastered. So mastery isn't just a question of practicing. Mastery is practicing and correcting when you fail. In the workshops that we teach for men called Honor, Integrity, and Mastery, what's the mastery part? The mastery part is mastering the distinctions of honor and integrity. Most people, if you ask them what is honor and what is integrity, if you ask 100 different people, though, you get about 100 different answers. So the words honor and integrity are highly misused, highly misunderstood, missing in our lives, and I believe that the entire world suffers from a lack of honor and integrity. It would seem that the idea of approaching honor would be that, oh, there's something that we all understand what it is, we all agree on what it is, we know when it's there and we know when it's not. A deeper investigation into what honor is, it turns out that it's a very personal experience. There are certain things that we could culturally agree on as being honorable, but even that is questionable. A harsh example, honor killings. You know, there are cultures in which where literally a family will kill a young woman in their family because she has broken some code of honor, or it is perceived that she has. It doesn't even need to be proven. In an attempt to restore some version or brand of honor, the family name, to reestablish honor for who? In that culture, in their world, they're doing the honorable thing. That's their definition of honor. There were times in history when the honorable thing, if somebody insulted you or your wife, was to take dueling pistols and to go out at dawn and to walk 10 paces and turn and shoot the other guy. It wasn't over until one of them was on the ground dying. That would be the honorable thing to do. A lot of things have been done in the name of honor. So honor exists as a conversation, and it's a very personal conversation. I would say it is one's conversation with one's higher self, one's more noble self, one's self which sees itself as a part of the whole of humanity, that has the interest of the well-being of others at heart. Because honor existed throughout time and in different time periods had different meanings. A lot of weird things in today's culture have been done in the name of honor, and so it's easy to understand how we could be a bit confused. You know, honor was born on the battlefield amongst men, born in life and death situations where the animal thing to do, the survival thing to do, the I must stay alive no matter what instinct that each of us have, it's an animal survival instinct, the belongingness and the bond between men became stronger than their bond with their children and families. The bond between men became stronger in those life and death situations where they would literally risk their life, meaning the possible survival of the women and children that they were in charge of taking care of. Because if the man died, very often the women and children would be next. They simply wouldn't be able to survive in a scarcity of resources. Men considered themselves disposable in battle situations and in hunting situations for the greater good. They would put themselves in life or death situations, put themselves at risk and at danger for the sake of the group, for the sake of the tribe, for the sake of the women and children and the other warriors or hunters around them. That is a leap in consciousness, where one considers the well-being of others greater than one's own. That is a leap in consciousness. That is not an animal instinct, that is a human instinct. Honor takes it a step further. Honor is when one of your mates has fallen and you risk your life to go back and get them. You run into the danger knowing that you too could lose your life. That is beyond survival. That's believing in something greater than yourself and being willing to put your life at stake for it. We call that valor, we call that honor. Now, when that gets brought back into the society of women and children, it is little understood and very little appreciated. It is just simply, it's no longer valued in a polite society of women and children. They may pin a medal on you, and they may give you the Medal of Valor or the Medal of Honor as a ceremonial recognition. However, that fades into the background very quickly when it comes down to, who's going to pick up the groceries and who's going to change the diapers and who's going to pick up the car and who's going to go to work and bring money home and who's going to clean up the house. All of that sort of fades into the background. Then where does honor live? The idea of distinguishing honor for oneself, it is a leap in consciousness. So what is honor in your everyday life? What is honor in keeping your bank account correct? What is honor when it comes to somebody abusing somebody else and you're there? What's honorable when you know that somebody is cheating on somebody else and that person is your friend? What's the honorable thing to do? You have to decide. It's a very personal thing. You have to decide what is right for you as a human being. And so in the Honor, Integrity, and Mastery workshops, we're not trying to teach men how to be. We uncover the layers of conditioning that have been piled on top of the honor that is already genetically inborn within that man. I'm speaking to the men now. Each and every one of you have inborn within you a hero, a warrior, a sage, a poet, a father, a supporter and a lover of society, of women and children. You have that genetically within you, not just on a genetic level, but spiritually, emotionally, mentally. That is within you, and it has come as part of the program. Just like when you buy a computer, there's certain programs in there. This is an installed program that comes with your DNA. Now, what I just said was a general statement, and I know that there are those of you who are psychologists and psychiatrists who could say, yes, well, what about sociopaths? There are human beings who have damaged or malfunctioning genes in which they actually cannot sense or feel some of the same things that you and I do. I'm not talking about the exceptions. I'm talking about the broad general rule, and certainly anybody that's watching this show. If you've watched this long, I've been talking about honor for about 20 minutes now. So if you've watched for that long, a guy talking about honor, then you're not one of those people, so you don't have to worry about it. I'm talking to you. Honor has been born in you, and so in these workshops, I don't have to teach people honor. It's already there. Much more than I could ever say about it is already encoded within your own inner knowing, and it is an inner knowing that surpasses logic. It surpasses learning. It is already known and can be experienced directly. And so there's really nothing I can say about it that would be as rich and deep and real as helping you to experience it personally and directly. And then even you won't be able to have the right words for it. It's a personal experience of one's own sense of honor. And it has always been there like a quiet voice anyhow. And in some of you it's louder, and some of you it's almost non-existent. You've suppressed the voice of honor for so long that you couldn't hear it if we put it on loudspeaker, usually through drugs and alcohol and sex and gambling or whatever else you're addicted to. So you've just completely smashed down this voice of honor, so now you live by some other code, but it's in you. It doesn't really matter what has happened to you, but it's important to you. That has had you gradually over time be culturally conditioned and suppressed, be religiously conditioned and suppressed, being suppressed by your parents, by your environments, by the molesters and the abusers in your world, who have eventually squashed out any sense of honor and integrity in you so that you don't even know what it is anymore and you don't care. We call them workshops because it's a lot of work, and it takes about 3 days. But over that 3-day period, that stuff gets cleared away. And as it gets cleared away, your own inner sense of inner knowing of who you are, why you're here, and a sense of purpose begins to emerge. And then the question is, what are you going to do with your life now that you know who you are? These workshops aren't teaching you to be like me or teaching you to be like anybody else other than you. The purpose of the workshops is to mentor men in becoming the mature masculine leaders that they truly desire to be, really to be the man they want to be, so that your love of humanity, your love of women and children and nature drives you from the inside out to live a life of honor and integrity and to leave a legacy of honor for future generations, and then supporting you in mastering that distinction, because, like driving a car, you're not very good at it. We support you in not just distinguishing it and bringing out those qualities for yourself, but then we have programs called the Advanced Honor, Integrity, and Mastery Workshops, which is another big leap forward. And then another 6-month program called the Hero's Journey, in which you're daily being supported to get these distinctions so into your life that it's like how you drive now. You don't even have to think about it. You can do it in any condition at all times and in all circumstances. You will live a life of mastery, being guided by and driven by honor and integrity.